Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Off the Cuff, where I'll talk mainly about the passage of the 2019 city budget. We also have a couple of other initiatives that we started this month, so I'll briefly talk about that, but I really want to focus on the budget this episode. So in the beginning of August, I unveiled a budget for the 2019 calendar year that actually reduced the city tax rate by 2.1%. Since I took office, we've cut about $1.5 million in funding in the city budget, from the city budget. So that's because of the personnel layoffs, the significant investment in the DPW, some of the grant money we've received, and several other things we've done the last 2 years. We are actually able to go in and reduce the city tax rate. So that's a very rewarding feeling, and I think it should make city taxpayers feel good that we've actually changed the trajectory of the city of Oswego. When I took office, we were fresh off of a water and sewer rate increase again. City taxpayers had their taxes raised about 60% over the last 4 to 6 years before I took office. So we were heading in the totally wrong direction. Not only did we correct that and stop the bleeding, so to speak, but now we can go the other way and begin to realize some of our cost-saving measures in the form of putting money back where it belongs, and that's in the pocket of our residents. So it's a 2.1% reduction. That takes the assessed value per thousand from $15.67 to $15.33 per thousand of assessed value, which saved roughly a $26 annual reduction on an $80,000 house. So in my proposed budget, I had a continued reduction in city overtime. We continue our investment in city buildings and infrastructure with $250,000 to be spent on improving our buildings. A large portion of that will be to replace the elevator here at City Hall. I allocated $60,000 for entertainment. Next year we'll have the Market Street Pocket Park open. We also have the new overlooks at Brightbeck Park, and we want to continue our summer concert series. So I increased that allocation by $20,000. I proposed a $15,000 workforce development resource center at our City of Oswego Section 8 Rental Assistance Office. And that really is a follow-up to the change in priority rankings we did at the end of last year. We changed our system so that we help those who are looking for a job, going to a vocational training program, going to school, or already have part-time employment. We want to help them first so that they can become sustainable, watch their children, go to work, and if they just need a little help with the rental assistance, we're there for them, rather than give the free government handout to people who sit home all day. But in addition to making that change, I think we also have an obligation to put the resources available, make the resource available for people who want to look for a job. And that's the idea behind this resource center. If you're on the Section 8 rental assistance program in the city and you are looking for work, you can go to our office where you go to find your apartment anyway, and we will connect you to the resources you need to actually get you a job and help you keep that job, because in the long run then you can come off of the rental assistance system, pay your own way, and then we can move on to help the next family who truly needs it in the Oswego community. So I think that's a big deal. We also budgeted $50,000 and an additional position in the city IT department because it's been widely noted we have some technological issues here within city government with the city phone system, the email system, and we need to get some of that straightened out. We really haven't had an IT department that's been adequate for over a decade here in the city, so we're going to invest some money to get our system up to par and maintain it correctly. In addition to this budget, we also went in to look at the last time the city of Oswego actually cut taxes. The last time the tax rate was cut in the city was 1999, and they passed a small tax reduction, but they actually had to use $2.8 million of the city reserves to provide that tax reduction for that year. This is really the first budget to at least get going back 50 years to at least 1969, and I'm only using 1969 because that's the last budget we have on file in the city chamberlain's office, where we offer a tax reduction and we do not use the city reserves or the city savings account to do it. So this is a balanced budget. It gives money back to the people. We realize some of the changes we've made in the form of savings, and that's really why I'm extremely proud of the budget. Some side notes: 52% of the city budget is personnel, 14% is fringe, 24% are contractual obligations, and 4% is equipment. It covers a $334,000 increase in contractual salary raises, but after negotiating with most of the unions in the city, which when I took over we had expired contracts with a lot of our unions, we negotiated those, and we negotiated away the healthcare waiver. Believe it or not, before we negotiated the latest round of contracts, city employees could opt to not take the health insurance provided by the city, and because they did not take the health insurance, they would get a waiver, usually up to 50% of the cost of the health care, and they would get paid this in one check, usually in the month of December. In the private sector, and I think even in municipalities across the country, that is really kind of an unheard notion that you can get paid to not take the health care. It really doesn't make any sense. So we negotiated that away. Instead of getting a up to 50% value waiver, we just negotiated a $3,000 flat rate stipend. So if you don't take our health care, you save us a little money, and instead of giving you 50% of the overall cost, we just give you the flat rate $3,000 stipend. That 50% of the overall cost sometimes could be up to $8,000, $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 for any one employee. So we're saving a substantial sum of money there, and that's another reason we can reduce taxes. All told, the city budget I proposed was $46,052,000, which it takes to run the city and our water and sewer funds. Water and sewer rates hold steady. There's no increase or decrease there. So the Common Council was handed the budget, and they took about 2 weeks and had 2 workshops where they went in and made some very small adjustments. All told, they shaved another $48,000 approximately off of the budget by some small cuts in various departments and moving some money. The most significant cut was $20,000 from our salt budget. Because we introduced the brine solution and we've had a mild couple of winters, they feel that it was appropriate to cut another $20,000 off of the salt budget, with the understanding that if we do have a bad winter or if conditions change, we may need to go back next year to the Common Council and get that $20,000 back. But they thought that was appropriate, and that's probably a safe amendment. So they shaved about $48,000 total, which brings the reduction that I proposed, which was 2.1, actually down to 2.4. And that brings the rate down from, again, the $15.67 per thousand. I proposed $15.33 per thousand, and it now is $15.28 per thousand. So that's the budget they passed. They left all of the initiatives that I just outlined in the budget virtually untouched. So I'm very, very proud of the budget, happy with the outcome, and I appreciate the work and cooperation from the Oswego Common Council. In addition to the budget, we also had a busy month with a couple of initiatives. First, we unveiled the Harbour Trail and had the official ribbon cutting, so I would encourage you to get down, check out the dock, the seating area, and the overlooks. All told, that project came in under budget, close to about $200,000, and it's officially done. Still have a few touch-up, little landscaping to do left, but for the most part it's done. I encourage you to visit. We also announced an initiative celebrating the 100th anniversary of World War I, where we're going around to all the war memorials in our city parks, the stones and markers, and improving them and restoring them. So we started at West Park with that World War I memorial. We also did the memorial over at Oak Hill. We were down at American Legion Park, and we are continuing that initiative this week ahead of the actual anniversary, which is in November. And lastly, we had a great ceremony last week with the U.S. Army where we celebrated entering into an agreement to administer the PAYS program here in the city of Oswego. And what the PAYS program is the U.S. Army reaches out to partners, in this case the city of Oswego, to see if they are willing to enter this agreement where the city of Oswego will guarantee a job interview to any U.S. Army veteran who applies for a city job. So sometimes you can actually be ruled out based on a resume or based on experience before you get the opportunity to interview. This agreement says that if you're a U.S. Army veteran, no matter what happens, no matter what job you apply for in the city, you are guaranteed to at least get an interview, and then the city after that interview can make the decision to hire or not hire that veteran. So I think this will be beneficial to our military. I, of course, always support and respect our military, but they usually have the characteristics and qualities that make a good employee. Discipline, responsibility, accountability, and they just offer a code of conduct that is really second to none. So I believe that this relationship will only benefit city government and our constituents, and I'm always happy to partner with the U.S. military anytime we can. So overall, it's been a very busy month, and I look forward to catching up again next month, where we'll talk about some other initiatives, exciting initiatives that we have coming up. The one question that was submitted to me talks about the potential of a bike trail through the city of Oswego out in the Scribe and so forth. I really think that's what we're trying to do by improving the trails that already exist. Believe it or not, Harbour Trail is just one small piece of an overall trail. Harbour Trail takes you up the west side Riverwalk, connects you to the pedestrian train bridge that goes across the river, which connects to the East Linear Walk and the railroad tunnel and railroad path that goes down the old Price Chopper site into Fort Ontario. So we improved Harbour Trail, and we are actually applying for a grant now that will extend that trail past the Price Chopper development into Fort Ontario, which will expand that trail and I think lead you into the Fort Complex where a lot of our assets, cultural and historical assets are. As far as extending the trail to Scriba and outside the city, I think it'll take a lot of resources, a lot of money, but of course I support any time we can offer more recreational activities and opportunities, and always encourage people to bike and walk and get outside. So it's an overall goal to have more things to do, more pedestrian paths, more areas to bike, safer conditions for people to do those activities. So we'll keep going, but to have an intermunicipal trail that goes through several municipalities will take some work, but we'll keep going here in the city and hopefully expand these opportunities for years to come. Thank you. I'll talk to you again next month.